Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines is a dark, gritty and nuanced realisation of the tabletop RPG of the same name. For those of you not versed with the World of Darkness setting, and with at least a passing interest in vampires, this is a fantastic introduction to both. And for those of you that have heard of or played this before, you're almost certainly already reinstalling it at the mere mention, just like if I were to mention Deus Ex. Oh, whoops. The story goes that you're a newly embraced vampire and quickly find yourself in a difficult situation about to become very real, dust swept under the metaphorical rug, since permission was not granted to your sire to allow you into this secret society. Luckily for you, Prince LaCroix's monologue is interrupted just before he passes judgment.
This is bullshit! If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish.
And by his good graces, allows you to live. Now dumped onto the street with basically no idea what's going on, you're given a quick rundown of what kindred life is like by Jack, and sent on your merry way to experience LA by night.
What a scene, man! Woo-wee! Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo, it's probably a lot for you to take in, so, why don't you let me show you the ropes? What do you say?
And soon enough, you'll be doing all sorts of tasks for all sorts of people, learning very quickly that the Masquerade has kept the wool over your human eyes until now. The first thing we should talk about, though, is character creation. You may do a short personality test to determine the type of character you'd most be suited to, and while this is interesting, I'd recommend just taking a look at all of the clans individually. Clans are what the namesake of the game is referring to with Bloodlines. Each kindred clan has benefits to being part of, and some sort of curse to contend with as well. There are 7 playable clans, each uniquely interesting in more than just how they look. Though, speaking of looks, the Nosferatu are definitely the most unique in this point. Gruesome, grotesque-looking kindred, they are very obviously not human, and will cause problems for you and the Masquerade if seen in public. You'll find yourself roaming the sewers a lot to avoid human contact, finding a very different sort of game to be played, being severely handicapped in most social situations, yet sometimes still using your foul looks to your advantage.
Are you sure, boss? You don't want my image in your subconscious. It's the stuff nightmares are made of. Careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
The Toreador Clan stand in completely the opposite position, typically being the most beautiful clan and the most in tune with their humanity. Poets, performers, artists, the Toreador have extreme difficulty with causing harm to innocents and destroying works of art, and will lose their humanity much more quickly than the other clans, leading to difficulties dealing with the beast lurking within.
A shame you had to take her life. But you've saved mine, and I won't forget that.
The Gangrel, however, are likely the clan most comfortable with that inner struggle. They're much more animalistic creatures, preferring to spend their time away from people and in relative solitude. They're much more likely to lose control of themselves and act on pure instinct, though, if the beast is not kept in check.
I see my reputation for once does not precede me. My name is Beckett.
The Bruja are a set of anarchists, fierce and fiery, passionate about their beliefs and willing to put up a real fight for them too. Quick to anger and lose control, they can struggle too with their bestial nature, but are also strong fighters and important activists throughout the game.
I'm Damsel. Someone talking shit about me over in that ivory tower? Who said it, huh? I'll kick their ass!
The Ventrue are your typical guys in charge. They run the show. LaCroix is a Ventrue, and you'll learn just what it is to deal with them, often born with a silver spoon in their mouths and used to a previous life of luxury. Nothing changes in Undeath for kindred of this clan. Unable to feed from low-life scum and rabble without vomiting, a Ventrue player will find themselves being very selective in their prey.
There you are. I was informed of your presence in the building. Since you're here, I'll take the liberty of assuming you've destroyed the warehouse. This is correct, yes?
Tremere are strangely unique in that they're essentially wizards, warlocks and mages able to command blood through actual magic, thaumaturgy. This powerful ability is not well understood by other clans, and, due to their history, the Tremere are also not well trusted by most people. Thaumaturgy may be powerful, but extremely dangerous to show in public.
Strauss. Maximilian Strauss. I am the regent of this chantry. Welcome.
And finally we have the Malkavians. Lunatics. They're mad, completely doolally, insane. Malkavians are cursed with insanity, which can manifest itself in numerous ways.
Ah, a child of Malkav, no less. Do dark visions cloud your sight, young one? Shattered reflections of your clan father's mind?
What? Oh my, a Malkavian.
You got some crazy eyes on you.
Simply deciphering what they're saying can be a challenge, as you'll be seeing in the footage, sorting the wisdom from the bullshit, as one character says. Malkavians will see and hear the entire world very differently to everyone else, able to break the fourth wall sometimes and predict the future, albeit in confusing and obfuscated ways.
There is truth in your words, neonate, more than you yet realize.
Just try not to listen to the whispers too much. Or do. Who am I to tell you what's right and wrong?
Massive explosion rocked Santa Monica tonight, sending several fireballs into the sky and prompting a lockdown of the warehouse district where the explosion took place. Early reports suggest that the warehouse destroyed in the explosion was being used in a weapon smuggling operation, and that the source of the detonation possibly came from you.
Your clan is easily the most important decision you'll make, but the rest of character creation isn't to be overlooked. Histories can influence how your character plays, and where you apply your skills, attributes and talents will too. Do you want to be sneaky? Do you want to focus on brawling or melee combat? How about guns or your disciplines? Are you feeling persuasive or seductive or maybe intimidating? Every skill on this character sheet is useful, but if I had a recommendation for you, it would be investing in persuasion, because there's a lot of dialogue where you can take advantage of your newly discovered silver tongue, but failing that, you can always try and punch your problems away. Combat is, I think, more of a last resort though. The game promotes the idea of engaging in dialogue, subtlety, deception, manipulation and politics over engaging in fisticuffs. Needs must though, and you'll often have no choice but to get hands-on, more often as the game goes on too, but conversations with the many characters you'll be meeting are easily the game's strongest point. Talking to people is an absolute delight and offers a massive amount of opportunities to learn about the world, the individual characters themselves, their relationships, obtain quests, gain favours, and just listen to their fantastic voice actors. A personal favourite of mine would be Vivi, who initially won't be so quick to open up to you, but after a while will tell you all about herself and her struggles. I'd be remiss to mention Jeanette, a much-loved character that you'll meet very early on, but I won't spoil anything about her. There is also, of course, the Prince LaCroix, Beckett, Nines, Jack, the various humans you'll have to talk to like Nox, Trip, Dr. Malcolm and Boris, each of them bringing huge personality to their characters. You'll find that dialogue flows very differently based on your responses, your clan, how you've treated people previously, your humanity and all kinds of other factors. It's deeply complex. I really should spend a lot more time talking about how conversation is incredibly well done in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, but honestly, you should just go and experience it yourself, especially if you like the vaguely edgy and sometimes a little bit cheesy side of things.
What? This place will pay for this.
There's a huge amount of other things to talk about. The unfinished aspect of the game fixed by a continually updated community patch even to this day by WESP 5, which fixes a ton of bugs and issues and restores unfinished and unrealised portions of quests and exploration. The world building, the Deb of Night radio show and the news on TV that keeps updating as events unfold throughout the game. The music, both ambient sounds that really help build the constant atmosphere shifts, the great licensed music used in various places, like the clubs and bars, one of which being my favourite from the last round. The classic quests that involve all sorts of situations, like the famous Ocean House Hotel, renowned for its design in gaming to this day. The Elizabeth Dane stealth quest, the hacking quests later in the game, the warehouse infiltration, and even the simpler ones like grabbing some painkillers for a dying friend. All fantastic quests, many with no one set way to solve them. You might not have to sneak, maybe you can persuade someone to let you in, or maybe you could just tear some limbs off. It's all up to you. And I barely even mentioned the disciplines as well, most of which can help in many situations. Celerity can speed your actions to a supernatural limit. Dementation can incite madness into people. Obfuscate can turn you literally invisible. Helpful if you're a Nosferatu. And Thaumaturgy can literally make people explode into a shower of blood, if that's more your thing. At this point, you really should be interested in this game. Without a doubt, I would recommend it to anyone with a passing interest in role-playing, vampires, dark themes, intrigue, secret societies, or the supernatural. Now then, I must be bidding you farewell for the evening because someone called Gary from ShrekNet wants to speak with me, and I'm wondering how he got my email in the first place. Well, I'm MagicalMike, and I'm Quids in with this game. Cheers.